have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe now. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Calling Monster Island.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back. Listen, we're gonna do toys. We both got pickups. We got a little bit of slides, but tonight, me and Jay watched a movie. We are gonna be talking about the Whale God tonight.
Heck yeah.
But
Yes.
Jay, first, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Got some toys. I'm excited. This is a good little pickup. We're a week behind. First of all,
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Oh, what we went to. We were like getting ready. It was like the day before, and we were like, "What are we recording about tomorrow?" And we were just like, you know what? Your Whale God had gotten here.
Mhm.
Mine got. He didn't get lost, but he was taking the long route. And
Your well God was late.
my Whale God didn't show up
Second
until
coming.
yesterday. We were like, oh, we'll just skip a week and we'll do Whale God next week. So got some pickups, got a Whale God, watched it today. Took the day
Me
off
too.
work,
Me too.
hung out. It was great. I don't know if the movie was great, but it was a great experience.
Well, I also, before we get too far in the show, I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining on January 1st. We had the Kaiju Go reveal live stream on this channel. And thank you for joining. A preemptive thank you for coming to the Kaiju Go event in August because you will be introing Godzilla versus Biollante. But that was really cool to have you and Chaz and Ryan Wilhelm and myself. That was really super fun. I really enjoyed it. That was kind of like a de facto YHS on Monster Island episode. So
there
we're
you
not
go.
that party.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for having me and thanks for asking me to intro a movie. Like, that's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm already kind of nervous about I was like, God, how long does this need to be? Do I need to write something? I don't know what to do. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really
You should
excited.
just walk out and go like, hey, I'm Jacob. Godzilla versus Biollante. Talk to you later. It's be done.
Peace. If you don't like this movie, fuck you. Roll it. Just something like that.
I think that would be amazing.
Okay. That's what we'll do.
We still haven't decided if it's going on first or second. My gut is that it's going to go on second.
Yeah.
So just copy whatever the guy that's introing.
I'll say the exact same. I'll write it down and say the exact same thing, but change it.
Just change the title like Mad Libs. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Cool. Well, shit. Is there anything else you want to say about Kaiju Go that's coming up? I don't know if you want to. I mean, anybody who's watching this, hopefully you saw the last episode with all the details. If you haven't, just go watch that. It's got all the details. But Kaiju Go is, we're good to go. We got a date. We got movies. There's guests coming. Did we announce some of the guests? The guests are announced, and tickets are on sale.
Yeah, tickets are on sale at kaijugo.com. It's August 17th in Dallas at the Texas Theater. The Texas Theater is like, honestly, like I joke, but like truthfully, like Godzilla's the draw. He's the star, but the number two thing actually might be the Texas Theater. It's that cool. It's a lot of historical significance there between, it was financed by Howard Hughes. It's where Lee Harvey Oswald was apprehended. It's a beautiful theater and like truly one of like the really cool like art houses in America. In fact, Criterion, then they did their Art House America series. Texas Theater was one of the ones featured. So that video is on YouTube and they talk about it and kind of their mission and their goal, what their history, and it's really cool. And I think we'll fit right in to kind of the vibe there. It's in a really cool area. So hopefully everybody can come down and check out Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 1974. Godzilla versus Biollante, it's rare to see that in the theater. And then the special guests that we announced were Mark Nagata and Max Nagata of Max Toy Company, which, Mark is has
Killing it,
art
dude.
and galleries
Yeah.
all across the world, and of course Max Toyko is just rocking and rolling with both the Toho and Subaraya licenses, and then the other cool thing, which we'll talk about more on the Kaiju Go Facebook page and Instagram and stuff, but we're also going to have a really cool VIP only special screening of something that Subaraya is releasing in relation to Ultraman 66. It'll be feature length, but using stuff from Ultraman 66. We're really excited about that as well, and that's only for our VIP ticket holders. And and you brought it up on the live stream, and I'm glad you did. It's like, how often do you have an opportunity to see Ultraman 66 on a big screen in a movie theater?
Yeah. You're gonna want the VIP, like, and also the price is such a good. Whenever you said the price on the thing, I was like, "What? That's it?" I feel like that's a, and and Chaz said, like, it's not about
Mm-mm.
charging people too much money, it ain't like you're out here trying to. You just
No.
want everybody to be able to have fun and be able to come to this thing, and that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you're gonna go for it, there's just go for the VIP, because
Yeah, it's only $50.
Yeah,
It's only $50, and there's some other
yeah.
perks and stuff. It's 25 for general admission, and you're right. It's not there for to make money. Like, the goal is to really build the community, the Kaiju community in Dallas Fort Worth, and hopefully it spawns other really cool events that we can go to, but also to promote a lot of these indie artists, specifically toy artists and vinyl toy artists that play in the Kaiju world, right? And so that's going to be part of the vendor gallery as well. They're always a big part, and we have other artists and other vendors that you can get your Marusans and your Metacoms and your Marmots and M1s and stuff as well. But yeah, it's really cool. I think you're gonna like it. It last year was so fun. The whole time we were there, I was talking to Ryan Wilhelm. We're like, man, I wish Jake was here. I think you'll really dig it, and I'm excited that you're going to be able to come down, and hopefully we deliver a similar event to last year, because, like I said, it was so fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited, and I know it's going to be fun. And also, Jay, this will be my first time in Texas.
Wow!
I've been to the airport.
Yeah,
or I don't know how many airports are. I've been to a airport in Texas, but I've never been in Texas. So I'm excited for that, and I'm also, I'm reading Under the Dome right now by Stephen King. It's a big book. It's like his third biggest book. Trying to knock it out so I can read the 1160, the one that's about Oswald.
Oh, okay. I don't know which one it is, but yes.
Have you heard of that book? He's got a
I've
book.
not,
That's like,
no.
He's got a book.
I'm not a big historian on like the JFK stuff, so I'm probably not the right person to ask.
Well, Stephen King has a book about it, and it's in the basic plot, and this has nothing to do with Kaiju, but I'm gonna do it anyway. He's got a book. The basic plot is this man finds like a time rift or something, and it puts him close to when JFK is assassinated, and he realizes he needs to. The only right thing to do is to try to prevent the assassination. So he gets to know Lee Harvey Oswald and tries to, and it's a Stephen King book, so other shit goes down or whatever. But I've never read it.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to read it. And whenever you said this was the theater, I was like, oh my God. I have to read it before we go so I can bring my copy and take a picture of my book in front of the theater.
And not far from the theater, obviously. I mean, you have the 6th floor museum, which is a great museum. You still, in the book depository and stuff, and it's the grassy knoll. That's all right there in downtown Dallas.
I'm not a history person either, and I don't know any more than the average person about JFK or any of that shit. But I'm a Stephen King fan, and if Stephen King writes about it, I'm probably going to learn something about it. So
I love it.
So yeah, that's just a little thing
cool.
that I'm also looking forward to. So yeah, it's gonna be good. Buy your tickets and read Stephen King. So
and read Stephen King, and then talk about it in our wonderful new-ish Facebook group, the Monster Island Visitor Center. Just go in there and search for YHS on Monster Island or the Monster Island Visitor Center. Come and chat with us. Tell us about Stephen King. Tell us what you're looking forward to at Kaiju Go. Tell us what you thought of the Well God. Hopefully you've seen it, and all the other stuff that we talked about. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's all good. One more little bit of housekeeping before we get into things. I just want to let everybody know that we're going to be very soon here. You've already been doing some of the work. You've been getting a little bit of a leg up on it, but we got the Jeffries coming.
Oh yes.
Is it the third or the fourth this year? Is this the third?
Fourth. It's the fourth.
It's the fourth. Okay.
Fourth.
The fourth
you had-
annual.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The fourth annual Jeffries are happening in February, middle of February. And, it is mainly for mainstream toys, Hasbro, Star Wars. We try to hit everything.
Yeah.
But as you know, if you've been a longtime listener, we do have a little Monster Island segment, and we try to do. We give out a Jeffrey for the best kaiju toy line of the year, best figure, I think we might mess around with we might add a category. I don't know. I think we got two, but we might add one this year and do three.
Yeah.
But yeah. So just to let everybody know, we're going to be getting on toys of the year pretty soon here. So
if you have any ideas, feel free to shoot them over.
Sure.
To us.
Any suggestions? Yeah.
Because we have a trusted panel, behind the scenes panel that we consult, and we feel like we have a pretty good, and also we have a pretty good idea on what what probably fits really well in that category. I think the 2 years, this will be the third year that we do a kaiju category.
Yeah.
The first year we didn't. And I felt like, I don't think anybody was like, oh my gosh, how did that win?
Yeah.
Kaiju Toy of the Year. How did that win Kaiju Toy Line of the Year? I think it'd been like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Last year was the Godzilla versus Ebra X Plus.
Oh, yeah.
One toy collectible of the year. Yeah, and then the Medicom Unraku and Saku line won Toy Line of the Year. So, I mean,
yeah, it fortunately for Sofubi and for Kaiju toys, every year there's so many toys coming out that when we get to this time where we have to pick one, it's hard because there's so many. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, we have 20 different figures we could pick for figure of the year, and any of those would be that's it. There's just so much good out there. So coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon. The other thing that makes it really hard is like we have our own personal like types of collectibles, but we also like understand like some collectibles that we might not dabble in made a big impact. I'm not mentioning specifically, but like, if there's a Bandai movie monster series, we don't collect it, but that's a big representation of the community that does. Right. And if the one that totally dominated that, or X Plus, or in the Sofubi realm, or whatever, like that's like, it's cool to kind of put them all together and be like, hey, what's going to win, this Marusan 450 whatever versus this, independently funded whatever versus a Bandai versus, whatever. It's a cool discussion. And it's really nice to see kind of everything wrapped up in like the top 6 or 8 type toys and toy lines that really crushed it this year. So always a fun time.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So that's coming soon. Other than that, I guess we can, you want to do some pickups first?
Yeah, let's do some pickups. You me go first? I'll go first.
Sure.
Yeah. And also before anybody asks, yes, we're watching Monarch Legacy of Monsters. We'll probably talk about it after the conclusion of it.
Next episode, probably.
I know normally we would be like, hey, what'd you watch? But like, we're there, man. We're there.
Yeah, we're watching. A lot of Godzilla right now.
A lot of Godzilla.
There's a lot.
So these things, okay, I'm really excited to show off the first things. These are really cool. So when I was at G-Fest last year, Last Bastion Studios was there, and that they're Ragnar, and they partner with Octil for Kaiju Cream, and they do a lot of other not really kaiju related type toys and stuff. They're a great company. Chris and Wes and team do an awesome job. Well, that last year they had just announced, or they were announcing at G-Fest, I can't remember, their Kickstarter, which was an officially Subaraya license. So it was like official with them, Kickstarter to create this trio of little kind of chibi style Ultraman and 2 kaiju. And it was Gomora and Gabora. And it got funded pretty quickly. And that was like last July. And this last week, the finished products came in. So I was super excited. So first off, congrats to Last Bastion. They've done a lot of really cool stuff, but I'll do these one at a time. First off, here's the little chibi Ultraman. Look at this guy.
Oh yeah.
He looks so cool.
Love that.
But I love that these are fun little things. Here's Gabor. I thought this one might be my favorite of the lot. Look at this guy.
Oh, he's chunky.
Oh yeah,
Good one.
look at
Yeah,
that.
love
And
that.
then from our favorite two-parter from the original series, Gomora. I love him. He's great. These are just really well done.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they're really well done. They're fun. They go like I have a little Ultraman 66 Detolf cube, and these look really cool with a lot of like the other kind of little, whether it's Max Toys or U.S.Toys, kind of that 4-inch and smaller type little
Right.
Ultraman stuff. There just seems to be a lot of it that I just really like.
Yeah.
But kudos to Last Bastion and getting these guys and officially licensed and everything. So really cool stuff.
Yeah. Those are good. Good toys.
One of them I'm going to wait till you talk about it because I know we got one pickup that's the same.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, I think so. From our good buddies over at Super 7.
Oh, yes. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
No worries.
I got it. And you know what? It is right here. But yeah, yeah.
It was
Okay.
meant to be. So
What are you talking about? I feel like I got that thing a month ago.
I know, right?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got yours way before me. So the next two are kind of cool because both of them, had I not bought them before we did our top 10 wish list, one would have actually been probably in my top 2 or 3. This is one of my top pickups of the whole year.
Okay.
And it just came in right after we did that holiday wish list episode. The other one definitely would have been on the fringe. Maybe it was a top 10, maybe it would have been honorable mention, but it's one I've been looking for a while. So this is one I used to have on my site for a long time, and I kept on selling them, and I sold a lot of them. And I was like, I'm going to get the next one. I'm just going to keep it. And then like you couldn't find them for anything under like $500, right? But I got them for well under that. And I'll tell you a story about that too. But so from Onraku and Saku, Metacom, the Godzilla 95, which is not super uncommon, but this colorway is great because it has the translucent with the gold glitter. So it's black with a translucent gold glitter on the inside. You can see that there. I absolutely love this guy. He was one of my favorite Onraku. See, this is one of the ones that like really started getting me to
I was
really
about to say, you have turned around on Onraku. Yeah.
I have, like I said, I still don't love the 54 and the puppet and some of the other ones. But the 73, this guy have really were the ones that are like, for Godzilla specifically, have been like, well, I think their Gamera stuff has always been really great. So this is stuff, and some of his his Onraku original stuff is great, but this one was really it's probably the least Onraku looking, but the colorway is really, really awesome. This is a great piece. I absolutely love it. But I almost want to sell him, for like $1. You know why? So here's the thing. So I'm looking at this, and like I like everybody else, I'm searching sites, and and I probably once every couple weeks I'll get on eBay, and most of the time it's not for kaiju stuff because it's not really a place you find deals and good stuff and whatever. But I saw this on there, and it was on there, and I don't like to tell prices, but for the sake of the story, I'm going to have to give at least ballparks, right? So he was on there for about, I think, $280, $285, and it had to make an offer. And so I made an offer. I thought I made a very fair offer at $250. So $35.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't going in at $100, $250. It was accepted. I think $10 shipping. Bam, this thing came over to me, right? So I'm opening it up. I'm really excited. Open it up, and there's a handwritten note in there. And this handwritten note says, when I got the offer, if I knew it was you, I would have hit decline, because I know I'm probably going to see this thing on your site for way more than I sold it for. Thanks a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I looked up who it was. I didn't know, right? Like I was okay, whatever. I didn't recognize I don't ever look at the eBay names. I'm like, do they have a good rating? Okay, great, fine. So I looked it up, and I'm not going to obviously share the name, but I have sold this guy lots of things. I've done like custom buying for this guy. So and whatever. And my thinking is this twofold. First off, if my business model was flipping kaiju stuff off of eBay, Toku Toy Town would have lasted about a week and a
Yeah,
half.
that's
not
done.
2
That
weeks.
makes no sense. eBay's always the highest prices.
Yeah, and no, I have people that I get my stuff from, not from the auctions, not from the stuff. Have I sold stuff from my personal collection? Yeah, of course. Have I sold stuff that I've got from people's large collections that they've wanted to part with, or I had an opportunity because of networking to buy a large collection, or I found something in an antique store? Of course. That's not my business strategy. Those are really ad hoc. And that I am not flipping stuff from eBay. You know,
Right.
this is not, I'm not going to Target and buying things and flipping from eBay or any of that stuff. This is like I said. The other thing is, if it was so easy for me to sell it for a lot more, why weren't you charging a lot more?
Right.
I mean,
Then why did you sell it so cheap?
yeah, exactly. Why am I? Why? So anyway,
So annoying.
um,
eBay sellers are so annoying,
I mean,
dude.
handwritten note that he had to go to the trouble to handwrite, like, thanks a lot, dude. I would have hit decline. And I wasn't, here's the thing. I didn't like smell blood in the water. Like, oh, this guy's having a personal crisis. I mean, I'm sure he's fine, but like, I didn't be like $100, right? No,
Yeah, $30 is
$30.
nothing. Like that's
Like basically
yeah,
a 10%,
that's reasonable.
10%
That's
down,
reasonable.
So anyway, I love this guy, but like, if I ever see him for another similar price, I'm going to buy it and just like take a video of me burning this one because it's like tainted.
Well, Jay,
I
well, listen, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll buy it from you for your $1.
Okay.
Your $1 offer.
Okay.
So
I love it. Making deals.
hey, you don't have to say who the person was, but do I know this person?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not anybody we've ever talked about. It's just I didn't. Yeah, I don't think so.
Dude, call him out. Let's get some drama.
No. You know, here's the thing. I'll end my tirade because that was like really kind of a commentary and dialogue of what I was feeling at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Having taken a step back, look, maybe he's had a rough time. Maybe he had a bad day. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't do anything like that. So great, wonderful. I hope everything's better. And I hope he gets all of his collectibles that he wants back, that, you know, if he has to sell them or whatever, like what great. But in the moment, I was pretty heated. I was like, oh my gosh, what a dick.
Well,
like, why are you such a dick? But I did send it. I sent the image. I took a picture of the note and I sent it back to his one of his social things because I know the guy.
Yeah.
And I just put cool, and that's all left. I didn't say anything else.
Clearly, that's a miserable person. Like people don't do that if they're not miserable. So hey,
but
have fun with that.
I know, right? But from that to the opposite end, where a friend of mine that I met through doing all this wacky stuff, actually way back through Pop Shop Live, but has become a really good friend. We've hung out at G-Fest every year, at Kaiju Go last year. And I mentioned him on the podcast a ton as Michael Lynch at Sweaty Vinyl on Instagram, one of the best collectors out there, knows so much not about just like Godzilla and Kaiju toys, but also like designer vinyl and indie sofubi and all that good stuff. Well, he and his wonderful better half, Ash, were at DesignerCon. And they were like, hey, man, I know this is one of the greatest toys ever made. It's amazing. And he was looking for one as well. He goes, but Ash is with me, so we're going to put our name in twice for the lottery. And I don't know how many they had. I know the first run was 25. And so this one maybe was another 25, right?
Yeah.
And they were doing an auction through Creature Bazaar at DesignerCon weekend. And so Michael put his name in, Ash put her name in, and they both won. And so, I mean, Jay wins, right? So,
Jay got
so I shouldn't even thank Michael. Ash, you're way cooler than Michael. Anyway, thank you. I owe you guys. But I was able to get something that came out in February that I just was like, I'm never going to own this. Like, it's just so hard to get. And I hadn't seen a lot of people with them that I knew, a couple. But from Kingu Toys, this thing, the fact that this exists just makes me happy, first off. And me having it makes me like beyond happy. This would have easily been in my top 3. Pachi Kingu from Kingu Toys. There he is. The mashup of every great vintage sofubi toy. It's Godzilla, it's Kong, it's Ghidorah, it's Rodan, it's Damajin, it's Gamera, it's Red King, it's Bolton, it's everybody on here. And this thing is just absolutely stunning. It's Ghidorah, Bullmark Godzilla. I mean, this giant gorilla, Daimajin helmet, the Baltan hands on the Red King arms. I mean, this is just, it's the coolest thing in the world. Now, yeah, it went up in price already, like doubled what it originally launched, and it was whatever, but it's worth every penny and then some. This is one of my favorite toys I've ever owned and probably will ever own. And I'm so glad that I got it. And it's just beautifully made. I mean, when you hold it, it feels vintage. Like there's just something about it. Like it's
Right.
It's modeled off of those, but it's insane. It is insane that this exists. But it also is amazing that it exists. So give me some insanity.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Glad you got that. Been seeing that go around. I've seen a few people able to pick it up. So, yeah.
I mean, the best part is like there's even like little one of the yokais that has a lot of the eyes is in the tail.
Oh, in the tail, yeah.
But I'm gonna pretend this is actually Max Toy eyes on. I'm gonna say that because Max Toy needs some love there on the Pachi. So I don't know, I just love it. But
yeah.
They do some good stuff. I think the first one went through Astro Zombies in Japan, and this one went through Creature Bazaar here in the US. So, yeah, really, really pumped.
Stuff,
it was one of those, like the day after, I just went in there to look at it and be like, I can't believe I got it. I can't believe I got it. It's on the shelf. It's fine. Yeah. So
is that it? What else you got?
Well, I got the one thing that we both have. So
we'll
do that one.
Let's go ahead and do it.
Their transition piece.
Sure.
I have yet to open mine.
Oh, and I have opened mine. I opened mine immediately.
You get in package and out of package.
Yeah. So we got the Super 7. I don't know exactly what they called this. Super Cyborg.
Super Cyborg.
They have a whole line of these, but the Mechagodzilla, I've been seeing this. I saw it at Toy Fair, Comic Con. I was able to see it up close, and I was just super into this. I think I like this better than any other Godzilla piece they've come out with. I think this is kind of unique, and it's fun that you can pull the the chest plate off and the legs come off, and you can see this stuff underneath. I think this is a pretty cool toy. Jay, what do you think?
I haven't opened it yet, but yes, I was the same way. I absolutely thought it was cool, and I have like the Marusan 450 Mechagodzilla 2 that has like you can see like the innards and stuff.
Right.
But this one obviously it's less sofubi, obviously more kind of that.
Sure.
More toy than vinyl toy, but it's it looks really cool. I'm excited to display it and put it out there. And but yeah, and also I love the box art. I don't know, there's just something about it that definitely has that 70s Shogun's Warrior type vibe. And I hope they do more cool stuff like this. I did not move forward with like the Ultimates line. I know the reactions, it's kind of like they're always going to be there, but the Ultimate stuff has not really like landed for me. Now I've heard the melting Godzilla is awesome, but I haven't seen it in person. But so I think like this is more the type of stuff I think I'm probably going to be more attracted to from Super 7 based on what I've seen so far. Because this
I agree with that, and I think it'd be cool if they did the other Mechagodzillas like this. They just did a line of all the Mechagodzillas that have existed. I'd buy those. Also, $125. I feel like it's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good price for something that's this is a good size figure. I think that's pretty good. This came in. I think I opened this like right before Christmas, and I was really happy to have it. So,
and still available. You can go on super7.com and go get it right now. And it's and they have their payment plans and all that good stuff. So I was kind of this is one that I wonder if they hyped it for so long and it came out when a lot of other things came out because I was just shocked that it's still available.
Well, I originally was going to buy it off of Big Bad Toy Store because that's where I buy stuff like that and pre-orders and stuff, and it was sold out on Big Bad Toy Store. So I was like, oh, I missed it. And then I just was like, let me go check the actual Super 7 website, and they had them on there. So I don't know why Big Bad Toy Store was showing sold out if they're still out there, but yeah, I don't know. They also not a kaiju, but they have a creature from the Black Lagoon in the same line where you can take all the stuff off and see it's like guts in its skeleton. It is one of the coolest toys I've ever seen, and I will be picking that up.
I love it, man. No, I was excited. I think they could do some really cool stuff, and I agree with you. They should do the other Mechagodzillas. I mean, I would love a Mechagodzilla 93 because he never gets any love. It's either like 74, 75 or Kiryu. Like, no, let's get some Super Mechagodzilla in there and have him like, or Mogera. You need a Mogera, don't you?
No, I will not buy the Mogera. Please don't make that. Kyle, Super 7, I know you're listening. Don't make that. No one's going to buy it.
But a Mechanicon, yes.
Oh, sign me the fuck up for any Mechanicon. Hell yeah. So Jay, that's all. That's it for you. It's what you got.
That's it for me, man.
So yeah, I got a couple things. But the first thing I got here, I want to show off kind of a little thing, but Jess got me another one of these.
Oh, nice.
And
how
this
many
one,
is that for you now?
Dude, I don't know, 7 or 8.
That's
but
awesome.
this one has like glitter moons and stars on it.
I see those. That is cool. Glitter moons needs to be a new like gimmick that Sofubi companies use. Yes.
Yeah, 100% glitter.
Yes.
Yeah, so got that. Really cool. Thank you, Jess. Then I also got something. I don't know if we've talked about this on the show, and Jay, I didn't tell you about this, so this one's a little bit of a surprise for you. Not a toy though. I got this King Kong. Have you seen? Have we talked about this on here? Or I don't know if we did.
I think just the only thing we talked about the Kong book, like the deluxe edition thing that came out. We didn't talk about this one.
Which the deluxe edition is, that thing's long sold out and inexpensive. But yeah, got this, which basically has its own other book in the front that's, behind the scenes. There's photos in here. There's all kinds of stuff about the making of the movie. And then, like this is all still stuff, and then you got the screenplay. There's a bunch of like original artwork in here.
That's amazing.
All kinds of cool stuff. And then you also have the hardcover here. Got some Bob Eggleton work.
Yeah, that and the sleeve.
And the sleeve. Yep. But I thought it was cool that it's different artwork.
I know. Yeah. I think Bob's Godzilla stuff is amazing, second to none. But I think there's something about I love his Kong stuff.
Yeah.
I think like when he paints in that, like, that kind of, Mesozoic feel, right? Like when you back there, like when anything that's like done in kind of like dinosaurian times and vibes, like I think that he just, even more than some of his fantasy stuff and his sci-fi stuff, I just feel like that's like such a sweet spot for him. And it's always really, really, really good. But that's awesome, dude. That's really cool.
Yeah, and this is available. You can get this on Amazon. So
that's amazing.
Pick it up.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Cool. So the next thing 100% would have been on my top 10 list if I didn't find it right before I made that top 10 list.
Like before, like the day before.
It is something I had been looking. Yeah, day before. I mean, something I have been looking for over a year. Saved searches on eBay. Never seen these for sale. I knew they existed, but have never seen them for sale before. Have only seen one other collector have that. I'm not saying that only one other person's got them. I'm just saying I've only seen them in somebody else's one other person's collection.
I'd never seen them ever before. I didn't know these things existed until you showed me.
Really, I figured you would have known about these. And I mean, I got 4 out of there's probably 20 of these things. There are other kaiju, more than just the 4 I have. They also come in multiple colors, so there's more of these out there. But I got, you guys know I've been into Godzilla land for my entire life, but I got some of the Keshis, which are some of the only figures they made. And
look at that Ebra.
Yep. Little weird Godzilla land Ebra.
That is amazing.
And
it's like a lobster eraser. I love it.
We got one of your favorites.
Oh, look at Angie there. Look at him.
Angerus. Look at that guy.
Oh my god.
Look how cute these are, dude.
I know.
And then I love this one. Look at this pose.
Yes. So he's dancing.
Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, these are so cool. And they're like undeniably Godzilla Land figures.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They are. And then the last one that I got, of course,
There he is.
a Godzilla. I love the style. He's got like a little tooth sticking out of the side of his mouth. I like this pose of him, like, I don't know if he's running or if he's just doing like a pose, but it's such a good.
Or he has a dance partner and he's like twirling them. I don't know.
Yeah. I love these. I've been wanting these for so long. And there are some like hard plastic figures that are pretty similar to these, I think a little bigger. But there's just not a ton for Godzilla Land. And I know that there's also a Mothra, there's a Gigan. I think there's a Hedorah. There's a couple more of these.
That's amazing.
And like I said, you can also get them another. I've seen Godzilla in this like green color. Yeah. So yeah, there's multiples. I want to get them all. They were not cheap. The most expensive erasers I've ever bought in my fucking life. And then also like, I found them on eBay, and I found these under somebody who spelled Godzilla Land wrong. It was Godzilla Land spelled out as two different words, which you would think you would find more Godzilla Land stuff spelled like that, but you don't. Everybody always gets it, I guess, because if they have it, they know what it is.
They probably know. Yeah.
Yeah. But I found it. I just happened to find it searching Godzilla Land, which usually all you get are magic cards. Craig Goldberg's calling me right now. He knows he knows I'm recording. I don't know what he's doing, but he's calling me.
Maybe he's like, hey, I found some more Godzilla Land erasers.
No, he's just bored. He probably has he's probably eating pizza right now. But yeah, so been looking for these. These definitely, like, these would have been in the top 2 of my list for the year if I didn't literally find them the night before. And I found them on eBay. They were pretty expensive on eBay. I sent the link over to you. You were able to find the exact same seller on another site, much cheaper, but still expensive for fucking erasers. But I appreciate that.
No worries.
For the help there. But yeah, so I got one more thing I wanted to show. This one I think is funny. This was a Christmas present from Jess.
Jess is rocking and rolling this episode.
Dude,
man.
What's so funny is like, okay, this was in my house the night we did our top 10 list. It was wrapped up in a box. She sent me some Christmas stuff and it was just waiting, it was waiting until like my stuff got to her. And so the night we recorded our episode, I'm doing my top 10 list. And then the next morning or the next day when I opened this and I was like, hey, this was on she hadn't even heard the episode. She didn't even know this was on my top 10 list.
Oh, hey, that's pretty awesome. Jess deserves a lot of kudos for that.
Yeah, and I think this was number 3 on my list.
Yeah, it was really high.
It was high. I think it was number 3. It's also the colorway that I wanted. I got Reptilicus.
I want to we need to ring a bell or something. We have officially our first top 10 wish list off the board from in 2024.
Immediately. I didn't have to do any work. It was already in my house. I love this. It's perfect. This is such a great toy. Yeah. So thank you, Jess.
And the one thing about that one, have you seen that in person before?
No, I didn't even. When I opened it, it was weird because she told me to open this one last, and I could tell it was kind of weird shaped.
Yeah,
I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And as soon as I opened it, I saw like this much of it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It's bigger than I thought. This is a much bigger figure than I thought it was. Yep. So
it has some bulk to it. That's what I always
does.
I always feel like the images and stuff. It always comes across.
It looks tiny,
like the M1 Manda, which we'll talk about in a second when we talk about news and stuff. But it is thin, but this is like it is that's some chunk to it. It's really
good
cool
size. Yeah, love it. So yeah, we Mark went off the list. So.
Congrats to you, but also congrats that you found somebody that is great at picking presents.
Yeah.
And apparently knows you pretty well.
Good
Or
stuff.
all you do is talk about M1 Reptilicus, which is
I
a
just
whole
show her a
different-
lot of toys. I'm like, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this toy. I've been trying to get her to watch Reptilicus since we opened that, and we haven't.
Oh,
watched
man.
it yet, so.
Hey, it
He's
is
like, I
my
bought
fa-
you the toy. Calm
Yeah.
down.
I know it is my favorite Danish Danish kaiju movie. So
Well, that's it, man. That's my pickup. So
I love it, dude. That's
some good
that's
stuff.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, some
When
good
you,
stuff. Whew, yeah. So Jay, what are we doing? You got some toys? You got some
I do.
slides?
I have a few toy news things. I mean, the big one was right when we started the new year, we had Superfest 87. Now there's a lot of stuff at Superfest 87. We're gonna tackle just a few that I thought were kind of cool and kind of fit with what we like and we like to talk about. So first off, I think U.S.Toys does just great stuff all the time. We talk about U.S.Toys, we love it. And this is wrong. Sorry, let me go back there. I grabbed the wrong one. This is the building box series. This is not the shampoo bottle series, guys. These are the cheaper ones. I apologize for the keeping that on there, but I was scrambling and making this. But the building box series, there's some new Baltons, that Icarus next to there, and the Daiei from Ultra 7 on the all fours. That's the first one I've seen them do of that. Look awesome. But you know, all of these guys, the Metron, the Duraco, the Canagon, and the Alien Guts are just, they do wonderful stuff. I love the building box series, and U.S.Toys does not disappoint ever.
I usually don't love sofubi that's like the goth all black colorways or whatever. Those goth Baltons are amazing. I would buy those. Who's the guy all the way on the right, in the top right, in the green on all fours?
Daiei or Dolly. That's from the Ultra 7 episode where kind of the Fantastic Voyage inspired when he goes inside the body.
Oh,
well,
here's what I'll say. I love that thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, I love it. I've never seen it before, but I love it. Yeah, cool stuff.
And I love the Alien Guts, the clear red, black, and blue one there on right below it. That's a great one. So U.S.Toys knocking it out of the park. I was glad to see kind of a new wave. Yeah, they always do. So Marusan's been fun. And also look at this. I should have double checked. Look at this. I had a typo up there.
You mess up again?
Yeah, no worries. So many typos. So we know from, I think, probably a couple episodes back that Kaminaga-san, the president of Marusan, was releasing his book, and how it read was it was going to be really kind of the backstory for a lot of the Maruman monsters. So that was from the 70s. They did their own line of kaiju and heroes that were not licensed. They were their own original ones under the Maruman brand. And these are two of them, Alien Banka, and I don't know how to say the other guy's name, but
Mogurines,
something of that nature. But
I like Banka.
Yeah, and he's an evil, slimy bank alien.
He's not evil. Look at that face.
And the face is like very Kermit the Froggish, right?
Yeah.
So they released two of these kind of reprints of the older ones here, which are great. And then they also follow that up with some 350 series lucky bags for Godzilla's. They did the classic Marusan, which is, kind of the J-tail, L-tail one. They did their 54, which I think their 54 is okay. They did their 62, which I think is okay. But then they did their Miragoji, the 99 2000, which they just released. So this technically, I believe, is the third colorway they've released of this, second or third. So really cool stuff that Marusan did it at Super Festival 87, not Super Festival, as I labeled it up there.
Hey, I think that 99 Godzilla, I think that suit works so much better as a sofubi than it does in the movie.
I know they should just replace it. The actual one used in the films, they should just replace it with a sofubi.
Yeah, with the toy.
Just move the hand. Right. Just move him along. It'd be better.
The whole Millennium series, honestly. What'd you say?
It's also the two movies that suits in are two of my.
That's what I was saying. I was like, all the Millennium series, basically, just fucking put a toy.
No, I like GMK.
GMK is great. I don't count when I say Millennium, I don't usually count GMK, even though it is. I mean the movies where he looks
Yeah.
like that. But yeah.
We should do a Millennium rewatch because I agree, because like you have really, in my opinion, I think you have really bad ones in Orga and 2000 and Megaguirus, and Final Wars is not my favorite. And then you have GMK, but then I do like Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla and Tokyo SOS. I think they're very fun.
Well, I
they're
think
fun.
I think they are definitely better than the other.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I just hate Megaguirus.
it's mainly Megaguirus in 2000 that are really
Yeah.
hard to watch.
Oh, well. And then more super festival stuff. M1 came out strong, man. I was surprised when these started popping. But Year of the Dragon here. It's Year of the Dragon.
Yeah.
They did release a pink Manda. Nobody likes Manda, but give them a moment to shine.
Hey, hold on. You're right. Nobody likes Manda. I don't like Manda, but I'll tell you what. I like Manda Sofubi.
Me too.
And I
have a lot of-
I think one of the coolest toys I've seen in a long time is that Manda with the Atragon that you showed off a couple weeks back. I've seen that a few times. It's like weird. Once you see it the first time, you notice it pop up on other people's page. I think that is such a good looking figure. I think the Manda Sofubi stuff is great.
Yeah.
Manda sucks, but this is great.
And this is, they do wonderful stuff, and M1 does a great job with that. And I was excited. I mean, like I said, it does make sense. Year of the Dragon. Let's do some of that. Let's do some other cool stuff. M1. And then they released this. I thought the really cool Godzilla 55. I think
love that.
I think it looks wonderful.
Looks like he's got purple. Looks like he's got purple spines.
Yeah, and the yellow, the metallic green. Like, I mean, I think this is a really well done sculpt. M1, I think, has, we always talk about it. I love Marmot's colorways. I love Marusan's use of kind of the gimmicks, right? I love their glitter and translucence, and also I think they do that really well. But when you put everything together, I think M1 is just solid all across the board. Their paint apps are impeccable. They have really great sculpts. Them and Marmot both like to do human figures too, which is great. So they did. So I just know they do great stuff. And this just has M1 written all over it. And I absolutely love this one. I'm going to try to probably pick this one up since I don't have a ton of 55 stuff.
Yeah.
So
I like the way this 55 face looks.
Me too.
It's one of the better sculpts for 55, I think.
Agreed. They can get a little snaggletoothie. And the other one was, and this one was, and I don't know the answer to this one, but so they released this Ultra 7 Ultra Fight Edition, and it's this, and it's hard to tell, but the larger pictures, like the traditional gray with some gold accents, and then they released that all gold one as well. So I don't know which one was the Ultra Fight Edition that they released, but there were these two did show up at Superfest. So, we love tricycles. We love the trikes. I love Ultra 7 more than any Henshin hero out there. So I love these, and I really want to grab that gold one. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it is nice.
So those were the three kind of big ones from Superfest. But there were a couple other things that popped out. Two other companies I wanted to highlight. And Marusan we talked about, and we showed off that Mirai Goji that they did, and they have released two other ones. I think they started with a blank that's not on here in November. But in December, they did this dark glitter, the dark vinyl with the glitter, which looks amazing. And that's already out there. You can get that one. And then in the end of the month, they're doing another lucky bag with this really cool, it's hard to explain. It's very funky. It's this glitter. It has some gold and some blue in there. It looks awesome. I have not seen that colorway done on any other kaiju sculpts from them. So I'm really excited about that one. But these two are great, and excited that they're going to be pushing this sculpt out probably a lot more in 2024.
Yeah, those are cool. I like those a lot.
Yeah. But as good as these two glitter things are, I think like the glitter champion of the week has to go to our good friend Mark Nagata at Max Toy, because his eyes on there in the middle from the Captain Max mythology. Holy cow. This is, a 10-inch, 10-inch eyes on. It's one of their bigger Sofubis. It's clear and done in the normal eyes on style, but it has tons of glitter, and the close up there, like you can really just see these big flecks and specks of glitter. Looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's so good. But he didn't stop there. He did release a new Also from the Captain Max mythology, the Drazaron, which is a mini, the little purple and blue translucent. Now, that one does come in like they have that character, that monster, that kaiju in the larger variety, but this is one of the small minis. And then the other thing, which was I kind of loved that they did this, was they did the Chief of Ultra 7. So from the episode where you get to see Ultra 7's boss. So this isn't Ultra 7, this is Chief of Ultra 7, and you can kind of see the darkened lower half there. So I thought that was really cool that they released one of those. So
I love that.
Max Toy, just like, I mean, they don't stop, dude. They do not stop. And whether it's Subaraya, whether it's Toho in the Japanese festivals, or whether it's their Captain Max mythology, whether it's custom paint on other sculptors' work, like those guys just, they don't stop. And these are 3 really cool releases.
Really good stuff. Yeah. Always killing it. Max Toys
Always killing it.
Yeah.
Always killing it. But yeah, that was it.
That's all you got?
The pickups. Yeah, Superfest was the big one, and then that other stuff. But yeah, that's it.
Jay, I want to show you one more toy that I picked up, and I kind of almost didn't show it because it's not really kaiju related. It's just, I don't know. It is a sofubi-ish figure though, which is why I want to show it. There's this Instagram page called Garden State Kaiju.
Okay.
And his whole thing is that he makes this figure and he makes it is a sofubi type figure.
Yep.
And he makes it in all different colors and just sells basically the same figure, just in different colorways. But it is a Star Wars figure. He does not call it what it is because it's an unlicensed thing, but it's this it's a dewback.
Yeah,
it's a dewback, but he calls it like a mud something. But yeah, I've been looking at this for a while and have wanted it.
That looks great.
And yeah, it's like a little sofubi version of a dewback.
I love that.
This was also a gift from Jess. She knows that I've been wanting it for a while. But yeah, I just figured we show him off because it is.
Yeah, that totally counts.
It's definitely a little sofubi guy there.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's amazing that's just some guy on Instagram selling.
Yeah, he does them in all different colorways, does conventions and stuff. But I wanted that classic green. But
you know what else we forgot to talk about, Jake? I just remembering when you were talking about your Godzilla Land stuff, and I kept on thinking like cute kaiju stuff. We got to talk, like, also dropped since the last time we spoke. The latest animation short from Quasi Studio or Quasi's. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
I was gonna bring that. Bring that up before we moved on to Whale God. Yeah. I'd seen Matt Frank post some. He did some artwork for it. He did like some fan art for the new short, and he was like, "Hey, this came out hours ago, and it's the best thing I've ever seen." And I've seen like all these other Godzilla pages posting like, "Hey, want to go cry over a 13-minute short with 0 words in it? Watch this." And I'm like, "What?" And I watched it. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I sent it to you, and then I made Jess watch it with me again. I was like, "Jess, we have to watch this." And I was like, "Jess, let me give you a little bit of backstory on what happened to Rodan's parents first." I was like, let me give you the rundown of the first Rodan movie because you're gonna need that.
Yes.
You need to know the tragedy of Rodan before you watch this. So I'm like explaining the original Rodan film, and she's like, "Oh, cool, that's awful." Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh," and then one kills itself. But yeah, so he put this short out. What's it called? It's
Rodan's Egg, right?
Rodan's Egg, and it is a 13-minute short of Rodan being very excited that its egg is hatching soon, and he's like going around the island showing his egg off and like taking notes, and it's so cool and it's cute and it is so well done. And then stuff happens.
Fucking Manda.
Fucking Manda. Hey, I loved this. It's funny. It's like soup. All the kaiju are drawn so well.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I literally watched it twice in one day, and I was like, I'm crying over this. It is so good.
Now I know we reviewed the other 2 on a previous episode. The Gigan and Megalon kind of hang out one, and then the one that's more focused on little Godzilla or baby Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Megalon and Gigan one is still the funniest, but I actually think this one is the best of the three all
Yeah.
around. Just like well done. I think this was the best from music to enough humor, but also like it really. I mean, it is an emotional little piece of animation. They do a great job, and you can tell that they love their gods. I mean, I love like just the little nuggets. Like one of the houses, like the neighbor was G Condor and things like that.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a giant concert. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that. I
stuff.
love the little stuff like, you know, Batra kicks the door open and it says like kill a human or something.
Yeah.
There's like a poster for destroy humans or some shit like that. And I love when they go to Mothra's house and there's the newspaper clipping and it's like Mothra with her arm around Rodan, you know, and I'm just like, oh my God, there's tons of that great stuff in there.
Well, and I know you, for those that watch Twanxiety and YHS, know that you are a notorious hater of intermissions. But I will tell you, the intermissions here are really good. You get some backstories on some of the other kaiju that aren't heavily featured.
I'll allow intermissions here. I loved it. Yeah, no, that was great. It was cute. It was just like a good way to throw in more.
Yeah,
it was just a good way to throw in more. Yeah,
100%. No, they're that team is so talented. Writing, animating, everything. I hope that we continue to get tons of this stuff into Toho and shut them down.
I do too. They give them a show. Toho should hire them and just let them. Don't change a thing. Just the only thing you change is I want one once a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly right. Just
put them out all the time. That's it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. But go watch the other ones too. Like that's like if you put them all together, that's like 45 minutes of like really.
It's almost
awesome
a movie. It's like a
Godzilla
movie.
stuff.
Yeah, go watch that shit. I want to get it on VHS. All right, let's do this, Jay. We're gonna talk about. We watched this movie called The Whale God. Watched mine today. Did you watch yours today?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Watched it today. Watched it this morning. Took the day off work, not just to watch this, but I do it every Wednesday. It's like
hey boss, Whale God Day. Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta watch Whale God. No, it's slow at work right now. I had a couple other things I had to do, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna take it off. So I took it off, slept in, got up, and made some coffee, watched The Whale God. Now, this is a SRS Cinema release. It is the first time this movie is released in North America. Right. I don't know what the release was like anywhere else or in Japan or anything.
I mean, it's
I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard of it until this.
Yeah, I mean it's Daiei, so I mean it's brothers to Gamera and Daimajin and everything, but it's I'd never seen it. I'd seen pictures and stills of the poster, some of the art, and it's one of those that's always kind of like mentioned in like the other kaiju films that not many people watch, right? To me, it's like it's probably more known than like a Space Monster Wagmagwi, which SRS also brought back that I'd never heard of, right? Until they brought it over. This was one that I'd seen. And I was like, oh, cool, neat, early 60s Moby Dick film, right? Like, that's what, so it never really like stuck with me. Like, I got to find that. But then when SRS announced they were releasing it, and then I saw that Bob Eggleton artwork for the cover, I was like,
amazing.
Yeah. I was like, okay, like this is something. And I never realized that it was Daiei that did this. So, but yeah, it's I believe the first time released in North America, like you said.
I love that we have a company that's doing that right now. Yeah. SRS, I really applaud them for all the work that they've been doing to get some of these movies out, even when the movies suck. It's still, I'm not saying this movie sucks, but I'm just saying like even when the movie's not your particular taste or something, it still feels special to be like, well, shit, I got to watch. I would have not been able to see that. So, yeah, so I was excited for this movie, especially because outside of kaiju, killer animal movies are my thing. Like it's always been one of my favorite things. Movies with like, weird animal stuff, animal revenge movies. Like it's always been my favorite thing. Jay, you know this. I don't know how much of the audience knows this, but I wrote an article last year that got published on ihorror.com about this whole thing, because even though that's kind of my favorite genre of movies, I also am a big like animal rights person, and I don't like when a movie exists and we're off to kill the animal for no reason, which is what this movie is.
Yes, yes.
But that's just like an extra layer in why I was even more interested in this movie. I've always sort of been kind of a light obsession with Moby Dick because it's such a weird, to me, the concept of people who are scared of a whale is the crazy. It's like such a weird. I'm like, a whale? Why? I mean, other than the fact that whales are big, there's zero scary things about, you know what I mean? It's like, whales have never killed a person ever, you know, like maybe a couple times at SeaWorld, but that's a whole other thing. But it's just a weird, to me, a whale is a weird creature to demonize. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've always
scared of wombats, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I get like, hey, I get like alligators look like dinosaurs. You're scared of them. But it's like, why is it in our history, in like our culture and in the Japanese culture, that whales are, you must kill whales? But I know like Moby Dick and this movie, I give them both a little bit of a pass because these stories were written so long ago, and they are also based on cultures that relied on having to kill whales basically to run their entire existence.
Yes.
Like I know,
100%.
you know, they it's like more than just the food. Everything they did revolved around killing a whale and having it. That being said, this is the most dramatic movie I've ever seen. It's so fucking dramatic. They hate this whale so much. The whole dude, it is so dramatic that at times I was like, this is becoming silly. Yeah. Because there's like multiple characters who have these like up close monologues where they're like, I will be the one to rip the heart from the beast. And I'm just like, it's a whale. Why are you guys so mad at this whale?
So today I'm like sitting there in the kitchen eating lunch, and I get a message from you, and I just look down, and all it says is, man, they really do hate this whale.
It's like you know, I always thought it was funny in Moby Dick, like they treat Moby Dick like a fucking, like it's Satan, you know? Like, sure, it's a little bit bigger than, you know, it's a sperm whale. Whales are big anyway, but they're like, they treat Moby Dick like it has it's like it sunk a boat, right?
Yeah.
Why does that make it evil? It sunk the boat because its other option was to die. You know what I mean? Like this whale at the beginning of the movie kills a man.
Yeah.
But it does so with like 20 harpoons sticking out of it. It's like,
I don't want to be killed. So
why does that make it? It's just self-defense. Why does that make it like a horrible beast the whole rest of the movie? It's crazy how like, I actually like this about the movie. People are obsessed with it. People are obsessed with this whale so much that it like infiltrates everybody's lives. You only see the whale at the very beginning and the very end. The whole rest of the movie is like the drama of the village and, you know, the bad people and the guy who's trying to do good, but everybody wants to be the one to kill the whale. There's some tough stuff. There's like a pretty horrific rape scene in this movie, which I was not expecting or prepared for. Like even when he just like he hits this girl a couple times, and I was like, what is happening? It's a pretty, I mean, when I say it's dramatic, it is fucking dramatic.
From the very opening credits to the very end, it is every scene is packed with as much emotion as those actors and the scenes can do. I'm not saying it's all warranted or whatever, but like there's not a moment there that's not like heavy and like there's just a lot, right? I think the biggest thing about this film, and the whole time I'm watching this, I'm thinking of this question that, you know, for you is like the whale. You're right. how they do it now is the whale is just the whale, and it does nothing wrong. It's just trying to survive, but it's kind of a commentary on how obsessed this community and these people are with it, and how this whale, this human craziness and fascination and obsession, how much just shit that causes, and the ripple effects and stuff within the community. Had they just made the whale a true killer whale, a monster, like a killer, like he's mad
Like
for some reason and just
it's
terrorizing their village, then it's a monster movie, and
it's a little different.
it's totally different. Like
The whale,
yeah.
there is never a scene where the whale's not running away. It's running away the whole. It's never an aggressor in this movie. It never breaks a boat. I mean, it kills the man, but it doesn't actually kill the man. The man gets caught up in the ropes
and drowns.
Like the whale didn't eat him or anything.
No.
Yeah, no. It's always, anytime you see the whale in this movie, it's running away.
Yeah.
It's never coming at you.
Yeah, and I think that right there, you mentioned that. I think that is why I think this movie works really well, is because I don't. If you view this through the lens of a monster movie, or like a monster, like a large animal movie, it's the wrong lens to look at it through. This is really truly a commentary on humans and obsession, and how it can destroy their personal lives and everything. And unfortunately, a whale, a totally innocent animal, has to die, but because it does something, it's trying to live. It's nothing, never the aggressor. It's still the humans, the villagers still get so crazy and obsessed and call it the devil because they can't control it, right? They can't beat it, so therefore it has to be evil. I think that's why the film, though not like a kaiju movie, not a giant animal attacks movie, as a movie commentary on kind of the human element there, I think it really works, and it works because the animal is so innocent. It's always going away. It almost, like, I don't know what species of whale that is, but like, I mean, it does look like it's always like happy and jovial and like, or at worst, like confused, like, why are you guys trying to kill me with harpoons here? Like, I just think that, and how they brutally attack it, like, it just, I don't know. I think
it is brutal.
Really well.
I think, let me try to look up. I just want to see a picture here. It looks like a humpback whale.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure those are the kind of whales that they, used for whaling. But there is, like, it's weird. It's almost weird because
it's a right whale.
A right whale. Okay.
Yeah. North Pacific right whale.
Do you know what year this movie
62
was? Okay, so this was made in 62. I don't know the history of when whaling stopped or I don't know any of that. I know there are places that still like to do it, but I don't know when it was a more socially acceptable thing. But I imagine in 62, when this movie came out, there were much less people are watching it being like, oh, poor whale. They're like, oh, no, it's whaling. This is just what we do. But the movie is almost made. It almost feels like a movie that's made today with the point of showing you how fucked up whaling is. Because there's also a scene like halfway through the movie. It might be earlier, but there's a scene where they really close up and show attention to what the villagers are doing with the whale meat, and it shows them processing a dead whale. And I mean, it's all fake, but it is like really full frame. Here's somebody cutting up some meat. Here's the process of doing this. And it feels like they're showing you that to show you how crazy that is. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel good. It feels like, oh, this village.
It's very off-putting, yeah.
The village is the monster here.
100%.
Like, these people are like lost their minds in this pursuit of the whales. It does not feel it doesn't. I know that they do it because that's what they have to do to live, but it does not feel that way.
No,
I
think you're right. I think it feels like it's a modern movie because they don't. They use that as they almost say like this is our excuse to keep whaling is because we have to keep this alive. But no, it's the pride and the arrogance towards nature and like the obsession with things that like whatever. And I love and reason I feel it's all intentional is you have the one character that I thought was this to me like maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I thought this was wonderful. His sister, Shaki's sister, the younger sister, her boyfriend who was like, his family had been killed by a whale, but he's like, no, I'm going to Nagasaki to become a doctor because there are more important things in life. Like,
Yeah.
You don't have to stay on this.
You don't have to stay here and
to live off of a whale. And then also like you're arrogant and stuff. And then I thought, wait, that's great. He's a great character. But in the very end, when, when he's in the box, in the coffin, and he's not dying, but not quite yet, not yet, when the village elder, played beautifully by Takashi Shimura, Dr. Yamane, him and his daughter are there and they work with there. No, you're going to be fine. The doctor from Nagasaki is coming, but he never comes. Right. Like, I mean, he might, but he might be too late. But like, I love, that was a great tie into that. It's like, no, like it is his way of life is the right way. He's not going to come and save you. I just thought that was beautifully done by the story and stuff. So I thought that was a really cool character, a minor character that just really hammered home the fact that like everything that you're doing, the wailing, the trying to justify it with this is what sustains us, the crazy obsession over nothing, the continued obsession, like I said, the total arrogance towards nature, it all to me, like it just hits. Like I feel like it just all kind of fits in there. And is just totally kind of, you're shown the opposite there with the doctor or the guy that's going to be the doctor. I just thought it's just all well done and intentional.
Yeah, I thought so too. And there's, oh man, well, there's a technical thing that I think works against the movie, and it's that the whale never looks big to me. It looks little, and I mean it is. It's a practical creature, but anytime you see it, most of the time there's nothing else in the frame. It's just the whale in the water. And you can tell the water is moving like water in a bathtub. It's
there have to be some pretty big waves.
Yeah, the water is moving unnaturally for how big the whale should be. And because of that, the whale never really comes across as being monster. It doesn't even come across to me as being like, to me, I'm like, that's 10 feet long. You know what I mean? When I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's as long as the boat. It's not even that big, The only times it ever is kind of big is towards the end when they're on top of it. And it's a full size creature with a human on it. Yeah, dude. They're the end of this movie, they get on this whale and they're just stabbing it, and there's like blood pouring, gushing out of it.
Yeah.
They're like digging around. This fucking movie's in black and white, 1962, whatever. And I'm like, why is this so bloody for a movie like this? The whale's like crying. I was like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I especially hate the end of the movie where they cut the whale's head off and it's just laying on the beach. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I was like, this movie's fucked up, dude. Yeah. I'm glad I saw it. I think it's well done. It is well acted. It's
whale done.
It's whale done. I think this is much better than a lot of the random movies that were just like, oh, here's a lost kaiju film. Let's watch it. I was, it had my attention the entire time.
Yeah.
I would never watch this movie again. I'm glad I own it, and it's going to go on my list with the other whale movies that I'm glad I've seen, but I will never watch again, like Orca. You know what I mean? Like it's just like Orca. It is so weird. It's the same kind of thing. But yeah, dude, I don't think I like the ending. Man, there's some weird stuff. So you kind of have a main villain who also wants to be the guy that catches the whale.
Issue, yeah.
and he rapes this girl.
Mhm.
She has his baby, and then your main good guy decides to marry her. What was his
Shocky.
name?
Shocky.
Shocky. He decides to marry her and take care of the baby, and he knows that the other guy is the one who raped her. And then in the end, he's like, "Hey, I want you to forgive him."
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's like a weird like.
So
I'm like,
on that one,
"Oh, what?
So on that one, so like the reason I think I probably like this movie more than you, and it has, I'm not saying it's one I'm going to rewatch a lot, but I could rewatch it, is I'm fully built into like the whale is the good guy and everybody else is the bad guy, like you said, right?
Yeah.
So like, to me, Shocky, who is, not as terrible as Kishu. He's not like he doesn't rape people and stuff like that.
Sure.
But like he's crazy because he's so obsessed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, like I said, I think this was done really well. It's like he becomes he adopts the baby and says and lies so she can, whatever, so she saves face, and it's like it's my kid and whatever,
Yeah.
even though he knows it's not because he cares for the kid, but because in case he dies, he has somebody else that can now, somebody that will go after and kill the well god. And so it's all selfish. So like all of his heroic, noble moments to me still are very selfish.
They're still,
And I think here's how I justify the rape, not the rape scene, the
forgiving that guy.
Yeah, telling his wife, IE or whatever, to forgive Kishu for raping her because he sacrificed himself to help Shocky kill the whale. I think it's because he's crazy. I think it's because his mind is so obsessed that this guy helping him kill a whale is good enough grounds for forgiveness for raping his wife. Like to me, I think that you could easily chalk it up to, it's a movie made in 1960s. Like they didn't read into that too much. But like I really think, like, to me, I in my own headcanon made it where it's like it's just another thing highlighting how crazy and ridiculous these villagers are and obsessed with this whale, that their logic and reason, because the whale's attached to it, because he's forgiving him, because Kishu went first to weaken the whale so he could kill it, that you should forgive him for the wife should forgive him for the for raping. And I just
but there is no part of me that believes that character was purposefully trying to help him kill the whale.
Yeah,
like the whole movie, everybody, not just these two characters, everybody in the village are like, I'm gonna be the one to cut the whale's head off. I will be the one.
You're not buying this redemption.
It's like a thing, it's like a whole thing. Yeah. And I'm like, he doesn't go out there because he's trying to help. He's going out there so he's the one who kills the whale. He is trying to kill the whale.
Yeah.
He's not trying to weaken it for the next guy. He wants the thing. So it was weird. But the weird little speech at the end where he's like, I am now the whale god. I've become the whale. And you see a whale swim off, I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
See, that part, that little piece, like that was oddly enough was one of the pieces I didn't like for it, because I didn't want it to feel like he did all this terrible stuff to this innocent animal and got obsessed with it, and now he gets to become this innocent animal, right?
To be the next hunted. But the way I see it is it's almost it feels like Tales from the Crypt to me. It feels like it's his curse that now he is the whale, and he's going to have the same thing happen to him.
I did that
by his son, probably.
The other reason, Jake, I don't know if you caught this, I really felt like I give this movie some credit on some of these more abstract concepts and some of the stuff that might come across as being crass or like actually that was done intentionally. Was I really like that, like, for the most part, the women characters are traditionally played in kind of that traditional role of not only of the time of the film was made, but also the time when the film was supposed to take place. The daughter of Takashi Shimura, the village elder, Toyo, how she has that little moment where she basically says, like, no, I don't love you. I'm mad at my dad for doing this. And having that kind of like small, still pretty powerful and poignant moment where she's basically saying, like, even though I'm a woman, like, I shouldn't be forced to do stuff. I'm against it. Now, she went ahead and was going to do it, but
gonna
she
do
still
it.
like at least spoke her mind to some degree. I thought that was really cool and kind of a little bit of a nice like moment like I said, I really think that the people that put this together had something to say. Now, whether it was done in a clean and way where everybody can kind of digest it, I don't know, or if it was a little too abstract. But I thought that was a really cool moment.
Yeah, I also specifically the first time you meet her
Mhm.
in the little house,
Mhm.
I thought it was shot really well. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of the movie shot well, but
I do.
I specifically those moments I was like, "Oh, this is all done purposefully. Like these
Mhm.
shots are these were thought out and it was really nice looking." So yeah, I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I think it's a good movie, especially for the time.
Yeah.
And me saying it's brutal and kind of gross, it is brutal and kind of
Yeah.
gross, and it does make you feel bad,
It's heavy.
but also like it's 1962, the whale looks like paper mache. So like even when it's a severed whale head
Yeah.
up on the beach and he's just talking to it in his coffin, uh it
But think
looks
about that.
like a fucking it
But
looks
think about that.
yeah,
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like I watched a movie where there's a guy dying in his coffin talking to a severed whale head on the beach. Like
yeah.
that is something worth watching right there.
That's what I'm trying to say. Don't let me say that it's brutal and gross take you off of it, because it is, but it's black and white and very fake
Yeah,
looking.
and
No, it doesn't look real or anything. It's not like some of these other
no,
movies.
no, 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 no. But I really do. Like I said, like I said, I liked it probably a little bit more than you. But I really, I thought there was just a lot of like that raw emotion throughout the whole thing. And once again, whether it's warranted or whatever, like it is like it kind of like when you're done watching it, and it's only an hour and 40 minutes or something.
Yeah,
Like you like kind of have to take a deep breath. It kind of made me tired. Like
it
it was a
did.
lot. It
It
was a lot.
felt long. It felt longer than that to me,
It,
and usually that's a bad thing when a movie feels long, and it's not. But it didn't. I don't know. It didn't feel long in a bad way. I didn't get done, and I was like, "Oh, finally!" It was just like that was heavy. It felt
yeah,
like I literally had to do something calming afterwards and
yeah.
just be like, "All right, let me chill out and play Animal Crossing or something," because
But
it was heavy.
you know what else helped that though? That helped the whole emotional thing and being heavy is how about that score by Akira Ifukube? I mean, Ifukube did
Yeah.
the score to it. I mean, that's amazing.
Scores great, and also I don't know if you looked at any of the special features. Did you look at any of the special features on here?
I did not know.
So there's not a ton, but there are two. Uh, I'll call one of them an essay. The other one is just like a 2-page thing. But there is a thing on the special features called Whales and Godzilla,
Okay.
and
Oh, really?
it is just like a little article that is kind of like the similarities
Mm,
between whales and Godzilla in Japanese tradition,
yeah.
and the similarities between like Moby Dick and the
Mhm.
original 54 Godzilla and stuff like that. And it had some interesting stuff in it. And then there's another essay on there that's just about whales and Japanese culture, and
Whale Colts and everything. Yeah.
yeah, and why the whaling stuff, and about how they used to think whales were uh you know yokai that were possessed of dead just like weird stuff, like
Yeah.
some stuff that really gives you a little more insight of the people
Yeah.
and the culture, and
More
how they can
context to it. Yeah.
what they used to consider whales and stuff. So I thought all that was interesting, and it's on
Yeah.
there, and you just flip through it and read it. It's just like it's literally you're just reading an essay on your TV. It's not like a produced
Mhm.
special feature. It's just like somebody wrote an essay and they put it on the DVD. But I thought that stuff was cool. I wasn't expecting to see that kind of thing on there. So yeah, that was cool, man. I just have such a weird very specific like relationship with these kind of
Yeah.
movies where I love them,
Mhm.
but it's like there are certain things that I think justify the slaughter of an animal,
Yeah.
uh, especially in movies like this. And I don't think this movie
No.
has any of there's like almost zero of that justification for me when I watch this movie. There are other movies about killer whales or shit
Yeah.
that I'll watch, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care that they kill the shark at the end of Jaws because
Yeah.
that's a monster. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But this was just a whale just trying to live its life. So I do have like weird feelings. I'm like getting towards the end of the movie and I'm like, oh, this is going to be one of those kind of endings. But I think everybody should watch it. I think it's my favorite of the SRS movies that I've bought.
I agree.
Of all the movies I've bought from SRS, I think it's a well done movie. I'm glad I own it. I'm glad we did an episode of it. I was excited for I'd been waiting on this one for a while. I had like forgotten that I pre-ordered it because I feel like that was a while back when they released it. So yeah, I think anybody's listening, check it out. It's definitely worth a watch. The only thing that kind of SRS, their next thing that they're going to have to do is they're going to have to start a streaming service.
I know, right?
They're going to have to do a $5 a month streaming service, and they can put all these movies on it because you have to buy the movie. It's like the only way. None of the movies that they have are. You have to either own the movie, or borrow it from somebody who does. So, I'm rambling at this point. Jay, you got anything else on this movie?
I don't. I'm really excited we got to watch it, and I can't wait for the next kind of film that neither of us have ever seen before.
Yeah.
It's always fun when we get to do one that like we're going in there like totally cold, right? And there's not that many, in the world of kaiju that we both haven't seen, and so I'm pretty pumped about whatever comes out next.
Yeah, same. I think I'm sure we're gonna end up doing that Great Buddha Arrival.
Oh yeah.
That's a movie that like kind of looks silly, but there's a trailer in front of this, and I could not believe how many well-known names were in this movie. I was like, whoa, what? I was like,
the original
Takarada's in this movie.
Well, the original one is so like famous in the sense that because it was one of the more famous lost films, right?
Yeah.
And so everybody's seen the screenshots of the one from whatever years that was, the 40s, 30s, 40s, whatever that was. So I'm sure like if they did one of the Lost Kong Japan remakes or something, that they would probably get some people to join in. But yeah, it's crazy the cast that they got for that. But I've heard I'm looking forward to that one, but I don't have high hopes.
Same. To me, it's like you can look at it and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a movie that might be dumb and we might be like, oh, but you're also going to be like, whoa, she's in this movie. He's in it. Like, what is this person doing here? Like, I think we're going to have fun watching it.
Speaking of SRS and when you said, when we were talking about the lost film, did you see their movie also done in that same kind of more lower budget, the Nezera 1964, the one that's it's about the film about the giant rats. It's the kind of the story of them making it, but it's all fictional, but it's which is a true, it really was a movie that was tried to get made, or I don't know if it ever did, but SRS did a different take where it's like, I think the story of them trying to make this failed movie and like rats started eating each other on the set and they had to do it with like live rats and stuff. And but anyway, that's another one we have to put on the list too, because I haven't seen it. They always screen it at G-Fest in one of the rooms, and because SRS is kind enough to loan a lot of their films out for that. But I have not. That's one I haven't seen. When you mentioned the Great Buddha Arrival remake, that made me think of that one. But that's one I haven't seen.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think of what other trailers were on there. There was the trailer for God Raiga versus King Oga, which
the worst. I mean, the first one doesn't bother me. Was it Raigo of the Raiga? I don't like, and then King Raiga or King Oga and God Raiga or whatever. The third one is truly unwatchable for me.
Yeah.
That's when you get from like indie low budget comedy kaiju, I'm fine with, but then when you cross a certain line and it's just like it goes from like charming and like silly and goofy and fun to like Mono's Hands of Fate, where it's not fun nor enjoyable, even though it's just bad. That's where that third one gets for me. It's hard watch.
There was also a trailer for. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, I don't know if people realize that it's like we record this. It's midnight at my time. There was another trailer for, I forget what it is called, but it's like the seafood one with the
the
two big
seafood,
squid and the
what is it? Monster Seafood Wars or whatever that one is.
That looks very low budget and silly, but I really like the kaiju. I think the kaiju are very fun
100%.
and they look really good. There's like a crab kaiju, and I'm like, this looks that could be put that in an Ultra, like that's better than Ultraman stuff, you know. That looks good. So
that's one we should watch that one too.
I'll watch that one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. We're like totally going through our next few episodes.
We just got to give SRS all our money. Hey, the thing that this isn't an actual complaint, but anytime I order from SRS, they fucking get me, man, because they also sell all the movies on VHS.
Yes.
And when I bought this, I wanted it on VHS, but then I'm like, yeah, but I want a like good Blu-ray copy to watch for the first time. If it's a movie I know, like when I bought Hal Beyond the Fog, I bought that on VHS and on Blu-ray because I knew I was like, I know that this is a movie I'm gonna want. And you know, it's just like I want to get all the VHS, but it's like it's so expensive when you get both. And I'm just like, so I did just get the Blu-ray, but I like that they do that. So don't ever stop. Jay, you got anything else? Anything else you want to talk about?
I got nothing, man. I'm just sitting here enjoying my my Pachi King right there. It's gonna be my shoulder.
That. Yeah, it's beautiful. All right, well, we're gonna get out of here. And hey, we'll see you guys next time.
Adios.